everyone, and welcome. It's Star Ladder Season 12. We're at the LAN final here. Well, we're not actually at the LAN final. This matchup between London Conspiracy taking on Vici Gaming is happening parallel to the main stage action that you can catch over on twitch.tv/Dota _EN. So while there are two matches happening simultaneously, that means that we're going to be covering the action from the backstage area remotely. I'm going to be KotLGuy doing it from my own little New York City studio apartment, but I'm not going at it alone. I got a good buddy who's offered to step in on a late notice to join me. I got Mr. Basskip here. Basskip, how you doing, buddy? I hope everything comes in loud and clear. You there, my friend?
Yep, everything's great. I hope you're getting me just fine.
All right, I got you a little quiet here. I'm going to get you bumped up a little bit. We didn't have the opportunity to do a little bit of an audio test of ahead of time, so I'm going to make sure. Here we go. I'll get that bumped up. Very good, very good. And all right, no sort of fancy they're all dead introduction. We're just going to go ahead and hop right into it. And you called it out, man. Even though I have no intro, they still somehow find a way to just like blitz through the early bands and already pick up their 1-2 punch for each side. So without delaying too much, Vici Gaming, you know, they're coming in this one, the heavy favorites against London Conspiracy, a group that many consider like, well, how the hell did they get here? How did they get here and Polar did not, or Empire did not? But this is a team that's been pulling out some pretty big upsets. They 2-0'd Empire, which many may say was during a slump period for them, or, you know, they also managed to best Polar, at least take him to a 2-1 run, and that was enough to actually help them secure a spot here. So what do you think, Basskip? Is this going to be one hell of an upset, or do you think that London Conspiracy are going to be the old MUFC, Rattlesnake kind of a group that might be able to etch a win or two, but, you know, just trying to make a name for themselves?
I mean, personally, I don't know the first thing about this team, if I'm being honest. I mean, I think I had the same reaction as some people. I went and looked at the Star Ladder page and was like, how did this, what was the qualifier sequence that this team made it? Because I knew how many, you know, I knew some of the teams that were in the groups for the Europe plus CIS and looked at how it played out. But yeah, like you said, they made it here fair and square. I don't know how they're going to fare against the rest of the competition. I don't even know if this is going to be very indicative, this match, because I feel like Vici are definitely one of the favorites moving forward. So even if they get trounced here, there's still a chance that they could make things happen in the lower bracket. And I think, like you said, it's really just to make a name for themselves. They're here at a big event.
Yeah.
They just have to, you know, show the best show that they have, and it can only be positive from them from this point forward. Even if they lose every single game, they'll have some amazing replays to look back on and say, okay, what did we learn? What could we have done better?
Yeah, you know, and what a tough test to be like, hi, how's it going? Welcome to one of your first big LANs. Vici Gaming is going to be your first opponent here, so good luck. But you know what? Looking at the draft, you know, they're digging deep. They're pulling a little bit of the old Cloud9 flavor here. They got their Drow Ranger visage, something we haven't seen in quite a while, and could really surprise you. This is a lineup that I don't want to say you're going all in with, but you're definitely banking that you're going to be getting a lot done between that 25 to 35 minute window. And then if you push it beyond that, you're going to be treading into deep waters. And you're going against a lineup like Vici Gaming, who love to really thrive into the later game. But they've already also put together a lineup that could also match them. So, you know, a lot of people, they come into 6.83 and they always anticipate long-winded matches. I mean, I myself played an 80-minute game not long ago. I was casting Canada Cup yesterday, and we had some 70-minute games there. But this draft already reads to me that they're going to look to peak at about the mid-game period, and whatever team really could thrive at that point will be able to kind of hit it home with a W in game number 1. At least that's my early impression here. You got your Shadow Fiend and Axe can kind of set the stage. Chen's one that really can't do a lot of work in the late game. He's hoping to get objectives done in that early to mid-game period. And it's going to be tough, man. And I question now London Conspiracy's ability to really deal with that swarm of an army. I guess their best bank is the Earthshaker Echo Slam if they can get that Blink Dagger online and get everything set up. But it just seems a bit more formidable from Vici Gaming. And London Conspiracy, they're just kind of doing one of those classic back pocket strats. And now that Vici Gaming do recognize it, they have a 5th pick to work with here to kind of bounce back.
Yeah, I like Vici Gaming's approach to this draft, especially because, you know, talking about a team like London Conspiracy, we were just saying, look, nobody really knows all that much about them. I even went and looked at Dota Buff. I just wanted to look at their recent matches, kind of get a handle on what they were drafting, etc., etc. You know, the exact same thing that somebody on Vici, for example, is going to do in preparing for this match. And there's just not a whole lot of information out there, and that's something else that they've got going for them this tournament. They've got that surprise factor. They can have pocket strats that they can pull out. They can try different things, and the teams may not necessarily be expecting it. But I think the best thing for Vici this game is that they took a fairly middle-of-the-road approach. They've built a lineup that can, you know, if there was something super early and super cheesy, that it'd still be able to fight, and they've got that scaling power there as well. And they've gotten some great answers to the Visage and the Drow this game. I would say, in particular, between the Axe and the Bristleback, you're just not going to see familiars surviving at all between Quill Spray and Spin, and that's a big source of damage for London Conspiracy.
That's what a lot of people are saying nowadays, too, and part of the reason why we don't see a lot of good old Visage anymore is just with the meta how it is, and a lot of these popular grabs like your Bristle, like your Axe, and these big physical damage dealers is those birds pretty much stand no chance. And when a team fight really breaks out, now if you're able to split push, if you're able to micromanage those birds effectively, then that's another thing, and you can really get a gun. And holy crap, that's going to be an Enigma 5th pick. It's a bit greedy for your secondary support, but if they're able to get that siege power and that big push, it is going to be dramatic. Imagine now not only the birds, all these Eidolons benefiting from that crazy aura. They'll be able to take towers insanely fast if given the opportunity, and that just makes it feel like they're more all in with this kind of push strat. And Vici Gaming with the late Bristleback pickup, he definitely is a strong answer to stop that bit of a swarm. And I don't know, man, it's definitely London Conspiracy looking to come in hard in the paint and really kind of set their own identity with this big push kind of a lineup here. But Vici Gaming, they're an experienced, well-versed group. They may not have their precious black anymore, but they have definitely shown that they could still bring together the wins, and well, they're going to look to lead things off with this LAN final with a win to start things out. So without further ado, before action does break out, let's just lead off some precious little introductions here. I'll do the honors of introducing the more unknown squad here in the London Conspiracy group. On your Dire side, we're going to have Mr. Spartan here. He's going to be playing what looks like your support Earthshaker. Right behind him, we got Madara, going to be playing your core Drow Ranger. We got, I want to say either Kaiser or Kaiser. He's going to be playing your Storm Spirit. Relax. He's going to be playing your Enigma. And finally, we got Mr. Skanks224. He's going to be playing your support Visage. Basskip, if you would do me the honors by introducing the Vici Gaming squad on Radiant side.
Yeah, so real quick, over on Vici, we've got FY over on Lion. We've got Super handling Bristleback. Fenrir will be on Chen, making his way towards mid. It's going to be Hao on Shadow Fiend. And finally, offlane, Ice, Axe. Very comfortable hero for him. And he's decked out as well.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous. If you look at him, he's ready for a freaking battle right now. And he could have his arms full if he goes to that offlane. And we'll see the audible change up here. Interesting, no early movement coming out from Vici Gaming. Not looking to kind of contest the jungle or anything like that, even though they see that an Enigma was picked up. But, or maybe they actually anticipate that Enigma's going right to the offlane. A bit of an interesting choice. I don't know if LC were anticipating the jungle to be warded up, or if this is something they like to run. It just seems like more of an unorthodox kind of a thing here, and it looks like he might get some help from Earthshaker. A bit of a block could be coming out, and that would certainly help get that Creequilibrium near to the tower. So, any personal thoughts as far as running the Enigma in an off-lane get-up as opposed to his more traditional jungle?
Yeah, I thought they were gonna run like an offlane Earthshaker and jungle Enigma, but it looks like they want to try and put a little bit of pressure on the safe lane from Vici. The one nice thing that he's got going for him here is that he can actually start farming up the Ancients really early on. So I think this is actually a pretty good place for the Enigma to be, but I don't know. Personally, I think he's just so good in the jungle that it's worth having in there just to get that mech up really quickly. And this seems like it's a minor. It's gonna dent the Bristleback's farm a little bit, but I don't think it's enough.
They're going for Ice. They landed a nice fissure. He's blocked in. He's going to be first blood.
Just dead.
Yeah, very nicely done. Good rotation early on coming out from The London Conspiracy Group, Vici Gaming. Hello, welcome to Starladder LAN. You know, hope you had a nice early breakfast and you're well warmed up and ready. These kids have came out to play, and I hope that you're looking to do the same. They're going to be the team that will strike first with that good early movement. Maybe this laning setup has kind of caught Vici Gaming off guard, but at the drop of a moment's notice, Ice quickly makes his return back into the lane, and he might have to be a bit more cautious now.
Yeah, definitely pretty scary game for Ice. Scary lane. There's a lot of damage to harass him back, and there isn't a whole lot to fall back on. I mean, there's a lot of overlapping priority with Chen and Shadow Fiend and Axe in the jungle, so if things go bad for him, there may not necessarily be anything set up for him to get farmed. They
did it again. They did it again. They blocked him in. He wants to try to make a go on to Skanks here. He gets the battle hunger, but he's going to be going down again. Back-to-back takedowns of Ice. Maybe a bit of a caster curse here, Basskip. You were popping him up there at the start, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
no, I'm just giving you a hard time. He does go down, though. This is huge props right now for your Drow to really take control of this lane. She's getting involved with these kills. She's getting that bit of an XP boost. And they're just not letting up. Already another smoke from your Earthshaker. And while the meanwhile Visage did deny himself to neutrals, it's just that express trip back to the fountain after he did buy out.
Yeah, and this is really, really important for London Conspiracy because 5-manning into the Vici Gaming lineup is actually really tough. Jump mid.
Yep, they're going here for Mr. Kaiser. There's a nice Fissure to help him out, but he's eating way too much damage. Good movement from FY coming in from behind. And they might make it a 2-for here. And they looks like they will. One more auto attack. Oh, they got it. Nice little base damage boost here. Thank you very much, Ice Frog, from your Lion. And they finally get themselves on the board there. And not with just one, but with a 2-man grab mid lane at that. Taking down the Storm Spirit. This is a nice big boost for Hao on his Shadow Fiend to kind of take control with the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, and FY's movement there was so good. I mean, he saw the Earthshaker coming in. He made sure that he split up with Hao so that there was no chance that they could both be fissured and that there would be any kind of a turnaround, and then I think the body block afterwards speaks for itself. So just really good heads-up play from FY there, and yeah, like you said, this is a huge start for your Shadow Fiend. I do wonder what Hao is going to be building, because I feel like it's probably Chen Mech. Ice definitely wants Blink Dagger as fast as possible. Your Bristleback's probably going to go Crimson Guard. So the world is kind of his oyster in terms of what he wants to build this game. He's not really, he's not forced to build a mech for the team or anything along those lines. So I could see something like a Yules, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, most of the Eastern teams, they love their mech build-ups. They're straight to BKB, kind of more defensive grabs. But with the luxury of having that Chen on your team, as you pointed out, maybe they can do a little bit of that Spirit Bomb flavor that we see from the Western teams as they brought it in. Even as the DAC, I'd say, was when it really made its strong debut. Your Blink, your Yules, and that is pretty much an instant hero delete. And we'll see if it's going to be happening here. FY again on the move, but he's spotted out this time. They got that ward and the high ground vision, and they're pump-faking the Fissure here quite a lot. And, well, they don't get him on the right side, but that pull puts him over. But it's a haste rune after all, and FY is going to get the hell out of there, and he will make it away. So a bit of flirting here in the mid lane, but no blood will be shed. And I do want to point out bottom lane, though, as they do make a potential go on to relax. He will be fine, as the TP was coming, but it will be canceled the moment Vici will pull back and away. Super has been getting a wealth of farm in this bottom lane on his Bristleback. Is something that London Conspiracy will have to acknowledge at some point.
Yeah, but we often don't even see Bristle in a safe lane role this version, so it can sometimes come as a little bit of a surprise how quickly he comes online and just how scary he can be, even sub 10 minutes. So that's something that LC are definitely going to have to factor in here, because, I mean, coming back to that earlier thought, that's the scary thing for LC. If Vici start getting pretty much their first core item on each of their core heroes, then that's when 5-manning into them becomes very, very tough. So if they can take this, these couple of kills that they've grabbed and turn it into some tier 1 towers and say, their Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker at a reasonable time, then maybe they're better equipped to take the fights. But I feel like LC have to stay ahead pretty much this entire game. Otherwise, it's just going to be that Vici Gaming-like game that you talked about during the draft, that they're just so experienced and probably very comfortable to take it if it gets to that stage.
All right, looks like regardless of a LAN event or not, you can't really escape those pauses. It looks like Vici Gaming do need a bit of a moment here. And, you know, guys, thanks for obviously coming by. I'm sure many of you are recognizing actually where the secondary matches are taking place. They will be happening here over on the twitch.tv Beyond the Summit, the main channel. If you're looking for the main stage action, which I believe is going to be Cloud9 taking on Team Tinker at this moment, you can, of course, catch that over on twitch.tv/Dota_StarLadder_EN. So just because, you know, DreamHack Bucharest, they're cramming the event through a 3-day period, they're going to be having matches happening, you know, simultaneously. So to make sure that none of the matches are going to be, you know, uncounted for, those matches will be happening still on site, but casted remotely here from myself, KotLGuy, and I'll be having a bunch of different co-casters coming in from time to time. I believe for today's schedule, which was changed up a bit last minute because IG was having a little bit of travel issues, so they've had to change it up. So after this, we're going to be going right into the lower bracket matchup, which is not determined obviously yet. We have to see how a couple of the first matches go, and then we'll see what series will actually be happening here. And then the IG match is going to be postponed to the last time slot of today, and then that will be taken care of over on the main channel, Dota_StarLadder_EN. So I actually am going to be deducted 1 best of 3, and I'm okay with that. Basskip three best of 3s back to back can be a bit of a trip. It was something that I did during DAC. I know you were there for that as well, and things did get pretty crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Dota, but it's a lot of freaking Dota.
It's a lot of Dota.
It's a lot of Dota.
Yeah.
It's a lot of 6.83 Dota, mind you, as well. And we'll just have to make the best of it here. So time will go on, and, you know, it looks like we're just going to need a bit of an extra moment here for FY as he takes care of something. Hopefully they're on site, which they're going to be addressing at this moment. But as far as the game goes, Basskip, not too shabby. It's a farming advantage for Vici Gaming, but LC were able to kind of impose their will early on. As we get ready to start breaking past this 10-minute period and those level 6s start coming together, you know, you got your Ball Lightning on your Storm Spirit after he's going to be farming up what is a ridiculous Centaur family here, and then your Enigma Black Hole starts coming on online. Is that where LC can really look to kind of take this game back, or do you feel that Vici Gaming are going to have a lot to answer with? I mean, you got to consider Chen has his Hand of God healing. Ice might be prolonged for his Blink Dagger, but, you know, Shadow Fiend's certainly going to have something to say at that point.
Yeah, I think I guess the Enigma mech is probably the biggest timing for LC if they're going to have anything that's incentivizing grouping up, because, I mean, Storm Spirit not actually all that amazing as a 5-on-5 hero early on, so he's a little bit more pick-off focused. The Drow probably only interested in sitting up top, alternating between jungle and the lane, maybe putting some pressure on the tier 1 tower if an opportunity arises. But I feel like we're not going to be seeing LC actually making too many bold moves in the early game until they've got that little bit of core farm going. The one interesting thing to think about is what the Storm Spirit buildup is going to end up being this game. I feel like we could maybe just see the pretty standard Bloodstone rush, but there is there's a pretty substantial incentive to like getting something like an Orchid first, because if you can burst down the Chen or the Lion on the back lines of a fight, that's a very easy way to win a fight if LC do end up taking things 5-on-5 once they've got that mech. So we'll see what he opts for.
Yeah, that's really, and as I was saying in the draft, you know, LC, I'm sure they're banking on being able to come out big there, because when you always run this Drow lineup, it has that window of time where it just seems so unstoppable. I mean, you're taking back-to-back towers. Even with the recent change where you get that extra glyph after taking tier 1, it doesn't really seem to stop a hero like Drow. They'll just be able to melt through these towers like butter. And the next thing you know, the whole economy of the team just gets boosted so much. You push on forward here, you're able to sneak in a tier 1 tower in top lane, which they haven't really got any sort of early jabs in yet. Then you sneak, you get rid of that access point there in the mid lane tier 1, and you go for the Roche soon thereafter. And at that point, you're just starting to go objectives, maybe just not even putting too much into team fights so much. You know, you already have the Enigma factor on your team, which many players I've heard, you know, they like to say, it's good to have the black hole, but just the presence of a black hole being in the game is its biggest concern for the other team. So you can't just kind of move in there as a group and contest the real 5-man power that LC could throw together. Otherwise, you risk getting caught out in a disgusting team fight. I mean, if you get caught in a black hole, Drow's just going to have a field day with you. So it's something they do have to watch out for. Luckily, they'll have plenty of sustain to deal with it. We'll have to see, though. And, you know, pause does go on. Unfortunately, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not there in person. I can't tell you if they're changing out a computer, if, you know, if FY has sudden diarrhea. Like, you know, we'll just have to, unfortunately, wait and see it out as it goes. And it's not across the land, though. I can tell you that because the other game is still happening right now. And if you got that itch and you really need to see some live action Dota, you know, you can always multi-twitch to the Dota Starlight _EN, where their game is currently going. So we're just the lucky ones, Basskip.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the KotL curse, right?
Yeah, that is. Oh, it's just ridiculous. I can't. Even earlier, dude, when I did Canada Cup, you know, it was 3 best of ones.
Oh,
the
yeah,
second
I
one,
saw that.
oh my God, yeah. Of course, there were problems. It ended up being a 3v5. We had a 20-minute. I just can't believe it. Like, it's like as if I feel there's people on the other side of the world. Now, this is not, I assume, one of those cases, you know, but it just sometimes feel like there's a power out there that's sitting in a little basement under, you know, his mom's house, and he's just like, yeah, KotLGuy's casting. Time to ruin this one. And starts punching in some certain special binary code. And the next thing you know, we're stuck in this pause period. But that's just me getting too angsty about it.
Well, he's baiting the reaction, right, KotL? You gotta stop giving it to him.
Shout out Brothers John, who's helping us a lot at the moment. Shout out to Vaveline Ficos Mangrix Rio. Shout out to iPhone Smart Guy. And shout out, looks like he's got plenty of shout. And shout out to Panguita. I'm sorry, dude. Fuck my fucking life. All right. So Spartan taking this opportunity to really put it out there in front of the world.
You go, dude. You go.
You do your thing, man. But
okay, FY's back.
He's back. All right.
Okay, so quick things to talk about. One, you're 100% right. The black hole is really scary if you're Vici this game, especially because your only way to cancel it is Lion, pretty much. And I think that adds another reason to pick up the Yule Scepter on the Shadow Fiend. It's a good aggressive option, but it's also another way to potentially cancel that black hole, which is really good. And you brought up Roshan as part of the sequence of events for these Drow Ranger lineups, but Roshan is actually a huge objective for both teams this game. I mean, even if all the tier 1s aren't down, both of these lineups are really, really good at taking an early Roshan. So I'd expect to see a lot of warding action around the pit. And I mean, if LC even fall behind a little bit, sneaky Roshan could be something that they look at to try and bring themselves back.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can already see some hefty wardage coming out from the LC group near that pit. And, well, they're not going to be detecting this movement quite yet, but there is a smoke. They did it free from a ward as they quickly did put down the sentry, or at least de-warded. And LC have to know something is a bit fishy. Seeing that many missing from the map, they're going to go more into a defensive stance, it looks like. Drowskavili already under her tower in a good spot. Earthshaker's waiting by in his own woods. I mean, Storm Spirit hasn't even been to the mid lane. He's been farming up the jungle quite a bit. Now he's going to be heading back to base here. But Vici Gaming, man, they're on the prowl, and they could cross paths. They're going to count out Spartan here. Insta-Hex coming out from FY before he can do any sort of fissure, and it looks like he could be caught out. There's going to be the Earth Spike, Test of Faith, Fenrir with the auto attacks. They get the net follow-up, a few auto attacks. They got it, but here comes Storm Spirit. Now Kaiser able to follow up with his own return kill, taking down the Chen. It's a 1-for-1, and the Drow, of all people, gets that last hit. Now Hal looking to move in. It's going to be a black hole for him, but yep, there's going to be the Earth Spike from FY. That's all you need to stop it. Wow, what a double raise from Hal. He will end up going down. It's a double kill for Drow, who's been getting those shots in from the outside uncontested. And we end up with a bit of a wash as far as kills go, but I got to say, I think LC really got the best of that one, with Drow bringing in pretty much all of those kills.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, it was actually, I think, a really good trade for LC, like you said. Ice does take advantage of the space of the Drow Ranger rotating away from top, so he manages to catch up a little bit there, but it's still not a ridiculous amount of CS by any means, and he's only just gonna get his Tranquil Boots now, almost 8 minutes into the game. So big rotation from Vici. I think the one other thing to factor in is that they did manage to get some good deep wards down at the same time, so maybe call it relatively even end of the day. Ice just going in.
He's trying to get a bit manly here, but now the rotation comes from Storm, and he continues to ball lightning forward. There's going to be the committed Vortex pull. There's a soul assumption, and he will go down. He's going to be punished for his manly push. And, well, I guess you could chalk it up to a little bit of extra space created across the Vici Gaming squad, but it's more kills now handed over to a team that really could peak pretty damn hard in the next coming moments here. So Drow, who's now completed out a Mask of Madness, that real glass cannon DPS buildup coming together. And we'll back to the bottom lane. It still has been a pretty quiet game so far from Super. Still sitting at his little precious 0-0-0. On his bristleback, he has his power treads. He's been holding his bottle. He's kind of the sleeping dragon, if you will, right now for Vici Gaming.
Yeah, definitely. Just farming away, 55 CS. He turned up mid lane to try and participate and get a little bit more of a turnaround, but there wasn't really an opportunity, so back to Farmsville for him. And VG just continuing to get active early. It looks like SF is actually going to be taking over the mech. He's almost got that one completed. And Fenrir's just grabbed up some arcane boots, and we might see like an early Ags out of him or something along those lines.
Oh, looks like they're going to get relaxed here. Well, okay, yeah, that's just an immediate 1-2 punch. Earthspike finger coming out from FY. Enigma goes down. They try to pull out a TP rotation, but they see it's going to get canceled. So now they know this is their opportunity to really make a push happen. Yeah, this tier 1 is going to be going down. LC, they're kind of in a disarray, maybe started heading that route, but then they're going to turn back. Ice. He's going to get a very confident push here, and all right, he will pull back. If he went any further in, that would have been scary for him, but he just kind of gets vision and a little bit of intel as far as where the rest of the LC group is. Gives confirmation here for Vici in the bottom lane that they're going to be able to do this no problem. So that's your tier 1 going down, and you know, we talk about both these teams really wanting the Roche. That tower being dropped is very big for Vici Gaming if they do have plans on eventually battling it out with the big boy in that pit. But being able to secure that mid-tier 1 tower would just definitely make it a bit easier. So we could see Vici Gaming now make a rotation towards the mid and do a little bit of the same.
Yeah, and I'll see they're smoked up. They've got the medallion on the Visage, so even if this isn't a gank, it could just be a trip into Roshan. Let's see what they're going to end up doing.
Oh, Super gets blocked out from the fissure. He's going to have to go right to Madara and company. Not using the medallion for this one, but they still have plenty to do it. Maybe saving it out? I'm not too sure. But regardless, they do manage to take down Super. Here comes the Chen army now. And they're getting a bit of damage here on the Madara, but there's not going to be a follow-up. And in fact, they could hand over a bit of extra gold. No. In fact, they're going to use this opportunity to segue into the Roche pit. Vici Gaming have to know this is happening, but they can't really do a whole lot without their big, meaty bristleback being around. So instead, they're going to just really push hard into this tier 1 in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Ice is going to grab some good farm on top lane at the same time. I don't think Vici are too interested in squaring up for a 5-on-5 until they've got this blink, so probably just going to continue to dodge around. But they get a tier 1, they get some more good gold, and Ice is actually already up to 1700. So despite a 0-3 start from him, he's still getting some really good farm.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like, you know, you don't want to get overconfident if you're LC and think, well, we beat down that Ice axe like 3 times, so we don't really have to kind of acknowledge him too much. But it's Ice after all. I mean, he'll be able to scrap together the farm, and the next thing you know, you're getting caught with your pants down to a Blink Dagger Axe, who kind of just sets the stage, get a huge team fight, and then they're the ones taking objectives and getting themselves right back into the game. But at least for now, LC in a pretty nice spot. They get that good pick off on Super. They followed up with a good Roche grab. Now you got your Aegis in hand for your Storm Spirit, you know, one of the best people to have it at this point in the game. And we'll see if they want to immediately put it to strong use, whether it's pushing down that mid-tier 1 as a retort, or if they're just looking to kind of make some fights happen. We'll see. But for now, they're mostly congregated nearby. They're dewarding all those aggro wards that Vici Gaming did put down previously. And, well, it looks like for now they'll kind of step back to a wash. Touching base with Hao here. He does have that mech, as pointed out before, but now he has 1,600 gold. So do you favor maybe building up a little bit of mobility here if you're Shadow Fiend, or maybe he could go down the road of picking up just a simple BKB? It's not really a big BKB kind of a game unless you're looking to just avoid a fissure and a Storm Spirit.
Yeah, I don't think BKB is too impressive here. He does have big frontliners for between the axe and the bristleback, so I think there is an opportunity for his role to be, yeah, a little bit more aggressive. It looks like it is going to be the Yield Scepter as he grabs the Staff of Wizardry and the recipe. I think it's still a great item for all the reasons that we were talking about. earlier, and just also that black hole cancel is such a big deal. But from a strategic standpoint, I feel like Vici are really far ahead right now. LC feel really pressured into getting some value out of this Aegis because they traded 2 tier 1 towers to get it, but I mean, Vici are just using all of the space with those tier 1 towers being down to continue to hammer in all of the lanes with split push, and I'm not even sure if LC are going to get too much out of the Aegis at this point, which makes it seem like a pretty poor trade, having gone into the pit like that.
Yeah, Vici Gaming have shown many times, as we've seen also from many of the other Eastern teams, as far as being able to find their own objectives, taking advantage of the map, while they know exactly what their opponents are doing. They know they're doing Roche. Well, we can make the immediate call to kind of make an objective push elsewhere and get something else done. We're happy to stall the clock out too. You got a precious Aegis Bull. We're going to take fights on our terms. We know when we can really open up. And it looks like for now they're going to smoke up and head down this mid lane. And they're going to go right through the LC Woods. See if they round the bend here, make it go onto the mid lane. They are split up, so whoever they catch out is going to be caught on their own. It could potentially be this Visage and Storm duo. They're heading right to trouble, and they don't even know it here. Oh, but Vici Gaming, they're scouting out. Otherwise, they get a free courier. Oh, man, it's going to be taken down. It has the point booster on it. That was probably for the Visage. So that is 1,200 gold taken down and an extra pretty penny into the pocket of the Vici Gaming group. Oh, man, that was very unfortunate for LC. You know, it could have costed the Visage's life instead if he moved back any further, but that is a courier grab that Vici Gaming are very happy about, and they're going to keep pressuring. They're going to go right for a tier 2, Basskip.
Yeah, they've got a really good ward down. They know that nobody on LC is actually really in position here, so it's their opportunity just to take a pretty uneven trade, even get the instant D ward as well, so extra value secured, and I mean, LC trying to get what they can, but and, I mean, they had to take this tier 1 tower because there was no way that they were going to get back to defend the tier 2 in time, but it looks like Vici with Yule's mech and Crimson Guard are just going to come knocking right at the door.
This is like Lord of the Rings as they move right into the base. Battle out for Mordor or whatever. Soul Assumption, but there's the mech and the Hand of God. Still not enough to keep Ice alive, but a jump in Requiem. Blast of the finger quickly. 2 hit the deck, including the Precious Drow. Echo Slam. It's emphatic looking, but it's not going to be doing enough damage. Hal's going to get hit with a Soul Rip, and it's going to do quite a bit of damage, but they still kind of disengage. And an immediate 2 buybacks come out from both Enigma and that Earthshaker to just try to defend. They don't want to be losing this tier 3 this early on. This is a team that is supposed to peak very early. Big jump in from Kaiser to get the grab, but it's on a super bristleback, and it's going to be hard to follow it up. Now he has no mana. They just have to step back and away. LC, they cannot overextend here. They will lose way too much. Super, recognizing this, goes right for Skanks as he catches him out with the boogers, but thankfully there's going to be a fissure nearby from Spartan that's going to prevent them from pushing on forward. And Vici Gaming just kind of almost toying with their opponent at this point, knowing exactly what their game plan is and just really taking it to them. That was a huge push for them, and it cost LC so much.
Yeah, that was big for Vici, and Vici's draft is just really good against this LC Drow strat. Honestly, they got a bunch of really perfect heroes for it, especially the Bristleback and the Axe, which they even managed to grab late. And I feel like Ice hasn't even done all that much so far this game. It's just the combination of having the mech and the Crimson Guard so early is really taking a lot of the bite out of the LC right click. So I don't know what they can do at this point. I feel like Vici could just sit back and farm if they wanted to, but it's also very easy for them to just group up 5-man and start to knock down these tier 2 towers one by one, especially with no Aegis in LC's hands.
And they're doing a really good job as Vici with their positioning as well. It's enough at least to force Enigma rather to not really draw his hand with that black hole. I mean, if you got a Shadow Fiend on the outskirts, he's going to be waiting with that Yule's. For Lion, you know, who FY has been not one to be in the heat of the battle. He's just ready at a moment's notice to get in there and stop that black hole. And now with the Blink Dagger, it becomes a lot easier. But here we go. There's going to be a skirmish as the Yules will fly out. Hal, not going to help him a whole lot. He gets caught out from 3, nearly 4, so it's going to be a quick and easy pick there. But here we go. There's a Hex on the Relax. No fall through yet. Super trying to catch up with Axe as well. And quickly, LC trying to get away here as the Big Bash brothers do jump in. There's going to be a connection on the Relax, and he's going to get dunked here. And come on, show me the goodness. Oh, Ice. He's not going to go for it. He'll save his mana, just do it the old-fashioned way. Your Enigma does go down, so it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade between your Shadow Fiend and your Enigma. Not too shabby considering that, and I mean, you got to remember, this was LC who did have originally that Aegis grab. It looked like the momentum was on their side, but cool, calm, and collected Vici Gaming group just kind of continues to do as they please. And well, they're looking to really take it to LC and give them a nice little warm welcome to what it's like being in these kind of LAN finals. But here we go. FY jumps in, gets the finger on the Madara with the Earth Spike. Can't finish her off, though, as Kaiser jumps in and actually takes down the Lion. All right, good counter initiation coming out from your Storm Spirit on the side of LC. And they pick up another little grab.
Yeah. Easy tower, easy kill. Nice little bit of gold going their way. Is that going to complete any items is the question. Looks like Drow just working in a BKB at the moment. Storm Spirit making progress towards his Bloodstone. And he's not almost there, but at least he's getting there little bit by little bit. So, actually, does he have it? Oh, he already had one of the boosters on the courier, it looks like. So, it's actually a soul booster complete and just needs the recipe now.
Alright, so he's still managing to kind of hold his own here. And that Bloodstone could certainly help accelerate his farm quite a bit. And then you're hoping to obviously get some extra pickoffs and build up those charges so this Storm can really do as he pleases. Because if you really look over on the Vici Gaming side, no real BKB, you know, not really a big BKB from their front. So Storm's happy with that. He can kind of move in and do as he pleases. But, you know, you're going against the Lion after all, and that's always a scary thing. You got to make sure it's FY. He's a quick draw McGraw with some of these hexes and stuns. You don't want to be jumping in and jumping yourself into too much trouble. So all this meanwhile, Vici Gaming just kind of calmly go through their farm, building up a fresh new army here. Maybe considering a pressure towards the tier 2s now, specifically in this bottom and mid lane. For LC, though, we're going to have to see what the retort is. Maybe looking to wait it out a bit till Madara finishes out that BKB on his Drow. And obviously, we're not going to be seeing a Spartan Blink Dagger on his Earthshaker anytime soon. Would be a favorable grab, but it's just not going to be in the cards at the moment. Relax. It looks like he's going to be going for a BKB on his Enigma. That would help him out quite a bit on getting off that big black hole. But here comes that pressure from Vici. They're going for a tier 2 now.
Tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Rotation does come in from Kaiser.
Oh, Vici just...
Oh, there's going to be the committed jump. Goes right for FY, but that was what I'm talking about. He's quick with the draw. Sheeps him up before he can get the follow through. Ice is going to jump in, get the kill on Earthshaker. There is a black hole, but it's pretty ineffective on super only. They step back, they get off the heel, the hand of God. Soul Suction flies out. Ice, very low, but he is going to make it away. Committed jump forward, though, is they're going to be able to clean up the Visage, and it's a 3-for-none trade. Vici Gaming. This started out as a jump in from LC, and they're the ones that end up losing 3 casualties. A bit of a disarray for them. And now Vici are going to be able to follow it up with a tier 2 takedown.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's so tough for LC. Their initiation is pretty much just the Storm Spirit, so I mean he goes for that there, but completely gets turned around. Really nicely played, I think, by Vici. They were scouting at Roshan the whole time. They knew that it was close to respawning and that they just wanted to keep pressure on the bottom lane and not let LC kind of they'll sneak in there and get one for free, but Vici just kind of getting the best of LC and every single time we have a full-on clash, and it makes total sense. Their lineup is just that much better at 5-on-5.
They have all this sustained power with your mech and your Hand of God that after the initial burst that comes out from LC happens, and as you already pointed out, there are very big lack of initiation outside of the Storm. They can withstand that first onslaught, pop out a couple of heals, and then they're ready to kind of go and follow up. And you can see in that team fight alone, they're able to follow up pretty damn strong as they wipe the floor with 3 from LC. Now we'll see if they continue this pressure up. Roche has got to be about up. There's going to be the Fissure block. Puts Ice on one side. There's going to be the committed jump. Kaiser, though, going to get stunned immediately. Ice gets the call thereafter. There's a finger, and he goes down. Echo Slam helps get some big damage in, but Ice still going to be happy and fine with those heals. How? Cleans up another, taking down your Earthshaker, and that's going to be a triple kill as the Drow will also go down. Can they make it 4 here? They're considering a go on to Skanks. FY's on the hunt. He has Blink in 1. And then he'll have an Earth Spike soon to follow. Looks like there it is. 1, 2, they got him. And now they're just going to slowly wither him away with Super, dishing out that pesky snot They got the bat, and it's going to be another drop right here. A big fight for Vici. They lose no one. They want more blood as they make a go on to relax. Here comes Kaiser back from the dead. FY is going to be taken down. Can they get Super here? He's a big boy, and I don't think so. He just happily shrugs it off, pops his BKB, and gets the takedown. It's 4 all day from the side of LC to go down. And with that, Vici, they don't want to push on in for the tier 2. They're going to take the better objective, going right for the Roche.
And House already got a butterfly, so he's ridiculously large at the moment. LC.
Oh man, Ice caught out the Storm Spirit. Spartan's nearby as well. Force on in, but Super's gonna get a hold of him thereafter. Vortex on the Ice. Earthshaker goes down, but there's those heals. And now Kaiser can't get away. Nice call set up right there after. And, well, they get their cleanup on the Storm Spirit. That's 2 back-to-back takedowns for him. He's out for 30 seconds here. And that's not what you want to have happen right after you get your precious little Bloodstone. He's already down to 4 charges. And here comes Vici Gaming now. Knocking on this tier 2. They should be able to get it with relative ease. Potentially could see high ground here momentarily. This is supposed to be when your Drow Visage lineup is really thriving. Taking down tier 2s. They haven't even been able to take down the tier 1 top lane yet. It's barely alive with 21 life, mind you, but, you know, Vici Gaming just showing that their lineup is just so much more potent at this point, and they're executing beautifully.
Yeah, and the one thing you'll notice about Vici's lineup as well is that they've got this great sort of internal support structure where it's who do you go on? If you jump the Axe, well, there's Hand of God, and there's Mech, and there's Sunback, and there's a million different ways to save him, and the same is almost true for every other member of Vici Gaming. If you jump the Chen, then you're not jumping the Lion, so he's counter-initiating, and there's still a Mech, and then you're opening up the Axe to potentially get a good counter-initiating call, so it's very much a damned if you do, damned if you don't for LC in these 5-on-5s, but they can't really take much else. Vici have such a commanding lead in terms of map control that and they're not really finding any pickoffs either.
And when they try to, someone like that, you know, Kaiser makes a jump in onto FY, but he's just right there quickly, dishes out the Hex, and well, he's not going to be able to get that takeoff. And yeah, there just really is no easy target here for Vici Gaming. Whoever you drop, they're going to have 1, 2, 3 answers right behind it. And this becomes a bit frustrating here. If you're an LC fan, just wondering what their move is going to be. Bottom lane. Oh, BKB is going to be popped. No Requiem is going to be dished out, but Drow could still go down just to the hefty right click of your Shadow Fiend. Just no respect coming out from Hao. He almost gets a solo takedown with it. Forces out a charge. I mean, he's very confident, obviously, holding that Aegis, but man, oh man. Just kind of gives you an idea as how far ahead Vici Gaming and how confident they're feeling right now. Okay, move on forward. Dishes out the Yule's. Going to get connected there with the Fissure, but here comes the rest of the cavalry. And they're going to get an easy takedown on your Visage. And, well, here comes Vici Gaming. Now they're going to be knocking on the mid lane door. LC, do they really have any sort of way to respond to this, though? Nope. Finger flying out of nowhere from FY. Just gets an easy secured kill. Hao diving on in, though. Could be brought down. Will be. So that's just his Aegis life. He'll come back and put himself back into a good position as they continue their assault onto this tier 3.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
LC are poking and prodding and trying to find an angle into this fight, but I don't know what they can do. Enigma's actually just gonna sell up his bottle, buys a blink and a smoke. This is the play from Relax.
He's like, this is my moment now. Can we bring this game back? Well, they already lost 1 rack, so there's going to be the pull-in. This is it, baby. Get in there. Try to make it. Oh, he gets stunned. He walks into a stun. Now he gets Yules up. This is not what I wanted. Oh, he's still going to put out a black hole, but it's only on to Hao. Ice just walks back. He's like, what are you doing? Pulls out the call, dunks him, and, well, you could tell that was a bit of the YOLO moment there for the London Conspiracy Group. They will end up going down. They've raised their white flag, and game 1 of this best of 3 is going to be going to Vici Gaming. What a start for them. LC, hopefully they can shake this one off. Their debut not looking so hot, so we'll have to see if they scrap together something new in game number 2 there, Basskip.
Yeah, poor Enigma blinked into a Centaur Stomp at the end there. That was just sad to see. But Vici Gaming, I feel like as much as they played it really well, this game really just came down to the draft. So for LC, that's something that's a little bit easier, I guess, to shake off. They can hopefully go back to the drawing board and come back with something I guess just something else for game 2.
And we'll see what they can do. Vici Gaming going to be going on to match point here, and we'll see if LC will be able to tie it up and take it to a game 3. That's going to be happening over here on the Beyond the Summit main channel. I'm KotLGuy. That's Basskip. We'll be back in just a moment for game 2 action. Sit tight.